Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel and welcome back to another review of 90 Day Fiancé The Other Way, Season 2, Episode 13, Sticks and Stones. So we start off with Jaehoon and Devin. They're getting ready for Taeyong's 100-day celebration. So in Korea, Jaehoon tells us that for a while, I'm not exactly sure when, but for a while, a lot of babies were not living to their 100th day. They were dying before they reached 100 days. So when a baby did reach that 100th day, it was a cause for a huge celebration. And so that tradition has stayed on, and so that's what they're going to be doing. They're going to be celebrating Taeyong's 100th day of living. And it starts off with a scene where Jaehoon and Devin go over to his mother's house, his parents' house, and she's cooking, getting the food prepared, and she's trying to teach Devin how to cook, but it's not working out too well. And some people are just not made to cook, and I'm one of those people. I can barely make toast. It's just not in us. Even if you have the best instructor, the best instructions, the best cookbooks or whatever, and you're following everything to a T, but somehow, somewhere, something falls to the wayside. So the mother's teaching Devin how to cook, and Devin is basically asking her questions about, what do you expect in a Korean daughter-in-law? And they're using the translator machine, and I think that something is getting lost in translation, because what the mother actually said and what the machine interpreted was kind of different. So the machine made it seem like the mother was giving answers that were not really nice, but they actually were. Like when she's talking in her language and we see the subtitles, it's a little bit different from what the machine is saying. So Devin is basically asking her mother-in-law, what do you expect in a Korean daughter-in-law? And I think the translating machine says something like, it made her say she wasn't expecting much. I don't think that's what she meant. And then there was she also asked the question of the party, something like, well, something about how do you expect me to act or something at the party. And the translator machine made the mother-in-law say, I just want you to say hello. Like, just say hello and nothing else. But that's not really what she meant. So that translator machine is good, but it does have its limitations. Anyway, so let's get to the party. So the party is really nice. All of Jaehoon's family, friends, they all come to the celebration. Drusilla is there, Alicia is there, and of course the guy of the moment, the star of the show, baby Taeyong, is there as well. And they're all dressed in traditional Korean clothing. So the parents, Jaehoon and Devin, the baby, and even little Drusilla, they gave her a little traditional Korean dress. And everything was just beautiful, and it was all so cute. And they all sat down to eat and talk and whatnot. And the most important thing was whether or not the family, Jaehoon's family, especially his great-grandmother, was going to accept Devin. And they all did. They were all very welcoming. The great-grandmother, thought that she was just beautiful, and she accepted her, and everybody was welcoming, and it was a good celebration. It was a really good celebration. And then at the end of it all, they took pictures, and the family picture that they took with Jaehoon and his parents, Alicia, Drusilla, Devin, and baby Taeyong, it was a really nice picture at the end. So everything came out really, really well. Now, I try to avoid hearing about what's happening in real time and in real life with the people that I watch on these reality shows, because I just want to take the show for what it is. And I've accidentally come across some things, because when I see a title that has the names of the people that I'm watching, I try not to look at it. But I came across something and my eyes kind of lingered. I didn't read the article, but my eyes kind of lingered. And it was something about Devin breaking up with Jaehoon and finding another boyfriend. And I just hope that it's just gossip, that it's just rumors and it's not true. But then I was thinking to myself, maybe that kind of explains why she's so not unforgiving, but the way she's a little bit kind of rough with Jaehoon, kind of cold to Jaehoon, and how she's just so willing to, like, he'll make a mistake and she's just willing to just give it all up and come back to America. I hope it was just rumors. Because she already has little Drusilla. Now she has baby Taeyong. It's like, Devin, you don't need to move on to another relationship. You know, you already had a little one when you met Jehoon. Now, allegedly, you met someone else when you have 2 babies. I hope that's not true. I hope it's just rumors. Or like a clickbait title to get you to read the article. And then, you know, the new man in her life is, you know, baby Taeyong or something. But anyway, so that was a good little segment for Jehoon and Devin. It was really positive. Nobody fought. Nobody cried. It was all very beautiful, celebrating baby Taeyong's 100th day of life. Now we're moving on to Ariela and Benia. So this is really sad because this is the day that Ariela's mom is leaving Ethiopia to come back to the States. And it starts off with her and her mother having breakfast. And I like her mom. I like her mom a lot because her mom is a very rational, logical woman. And that is very rare in reality TV shows. But I really like her mom. She says that she does admit that Benia is good to Ariela. And so that's good. You know, she's giving him the benefit of the doubt from what she's seen so far and what she knows so far. She feels like, you know, maybe she's leaving her daughter in good hands. And she tells her daughter that, you know, if you want to come back, it's okay to say that you want to come back. You know, it's okay. If that's how you feel, you need to let us know that you want to come back to have the baby. I don't think the mother meant for good. I think the mother meant to come back to have the baby. I think that's what she meant. But I think it's too late for her to fly. And I think that's what she meant. I hope that's what she meant, to come back to have the baby. And Ariela said that, no, she's really worried that Benia will feel abandoned if she up and left. And her mother said, you need to think of yourself and the baby. You know, you can't really put him always as a priority. You need to put yourself and especially the baby as number one. So now we're making preparations for the mom leaving. They're driving to the airport. The whole ride to the airport, Ariela is crying because she doesn't want to see her mom go. And I totally understand because I know when I had my first baby, my mother came to stay with me. And she stayed with me. How long did she stay? I forgot how long it was. Was it a couple of weeks? And the day that she left, it was so hard and emotional for me. Now, obviously, it's very different for Ariela because her mom is going back to another country and they won't be able to see each other at all. But I'm just saying that on a smaller scale like that, with my mom staying with me for a couple of weeks after having a brand new baby and then her leaving, and she lives, you know, not that far from me, it was tough for me to see her go. I cried. I did not want my mom to leave. So I can only imagine how much harder it is for Ariela to see her mom leave to go back to the United States, and she's left in a foreign country that she knows nothing about. So her mom leaves, and at the airport, it's a very tearful, emotional goodbye. I kind of was getting emotional because I kind of understood what she was going through. So to watch her say goodbye to her mom, and you know, the mom is a really nice woman. You know, she's just so accepting of their relationship. You know, she gives her good advice, and she has really good sense. And she sees things from all sides. And it's not just, you know, for the benefit of her daughter, always taking her daughter's side. She really sees things objectively. And she gave Ethiopia a chance. And she gave Benia a chance. And so I really like her mom. It was sad to see her go. And after they leave, now it's just Benia and Ariela. Now, you know, real life has begun. And not really because the baby ain't here yet, but they're a little bit closer to that. And Ariela is just not happy. They are later on that day, I guess, they're taking a walk and they're talking about, you know, basically what now. And Ariela said that she's not looking forward to life alone with Benia. And she says that, what did she say exactly? She says she wasn't happy and not happy about being alone with him. And she says that he doesn't know her and he doesn't understand her. Now, it kills me on these reality TV shows how people who barely know each other take this huge step, like in either getting married or having a baby or something. They make these major life decisions with people that they rarely know, and then after the decision has already been made, they're having second thoughts, they're having doubts. Now they're all like, well, I really don't know about. Why weren't you thinking that when you laid down with this man and had a baby with it? Now, I think Ariela said that. Did she say that they were using some type of birth control or protection, but she still got I don't know. But that just goes to show, even when you are using protection or you are on birth control, these things are not 100% proof. And you just can't be like, well, I don't, you know, we used a condom, so I'm good. Because you could, y'all, just be careful with who you lay down with or without protection. Because it's just, anyways, I don't want to be too preachy. So she said that she says that Biniam doesn't know her or understand her, and she's just not happy. And Biniam is trying to reassure her. He keeps telling her that he loves her. He keeps telling her that it's going to be okay and that he's there for her and that all she needs to do is just talk to him, communicate with him. And Ariela is just like, she just wants to go back. And I'm kind of like wondering to myself, why are people so stubborn? When she was still back in the States and her family was like not convincing her to not go, but her parents were like, they really wanted her to think it through of whether or not she wanted to leave to go live in Ethiopia. And she just sounded so confident. She was like, oh yeah, I want to go. I'm good. This is what I want to do. This is a decision that I'm making. Nobody can make me change my mind. I've already made up my mind. I'm going to go to Ethiopia and be with my man. And, you know, and now it seems like she's having doubts about it. And she wants to go back home to the United States. It kind of seems like that to me. Now she's having some serious doubts. But how did you think life was going to be like in Ethiopia? Now, she's been to Ethiopia. That's where they met. So she kind of had an idea of what life was like. So what's the problem? It was really important for you to go to Ethiopia so that Biniam can be there for the birth of his child. So what's happening? Is it just the hormones? Is it pregnancy hormones, Ariela? Is that what's really driving all of this emotion? Because I'm very confused, because you were really adamant about leaving the United States to go live in Ethiopia, and could nobody change your mind? And now you're, I don't know. Get it together, Ariela. Make up your mind, because now you know what this man has been through with his previous relationship, who took off with his baby, and he never saw that child again. And let's be realistic. You're not going to be flying to Ethiopia, every couple of months for him to have a relationship with his child. And this is not just, a 30-minute flight away or a 30-minute drive away. Going to the other side of the world is a big commitment. And there's no way he's going to be able to maintain a relationship with his son if you come back to the United States. So you need to really, truly think about the decisions that you're making and make sure that you're making the best decision for your child, and also take into consideration Biniam's feelings and what he wants and what he expects. But moving on. 2, Kenneth and Armando. So Kenneth Armando and Kenneth's 2 daughters are going out for tacos, and they go to this little restaurant where you can eat outside. And they're at a point now where Armando is becoming a little bit more comfortable with Kenneth and being out in public with him and being playful with him, because they're all sitting out there eating. And do I want to talk about when they ordered the food? Is that worth talking about? So when they were ordering the food, this is something that I don't really care for, is that when you go to a place, when you're in a foreign country and, you order something and it's, or I don't like it when people show, sort of like, I think it's disrespectful to show disgust, like to act like you're disgusted or something with the foods of that country, the cuisine of that country, because it's normal food to them. And Americans already have a reputation of acting, just this air of superiority about us, like, nothing is as good as what we have. Nothing, nowhere, nobody is as good as what we are and what we have and what we're about. Like a very, what's the word I'm looking for? This air of entitlement and superiority. There's another word. I can't think of it. So when he was asking about the different types of meat for the tacos, they said something, and Armando explained to him that's coming from the head of the animal. And Kenneth was just like, oh my God, no, I don't want that. It's not that dramatic, okay? You can just say, yeah, okay, I think I'll have something else. Instead of, are you serious? Oh my God, I don't want to eat that. No. And I'm probably exaggerating, but that's how I took it. If it's not to your liking, just say, oh, that's interesting. Okay, I think I'll try something else. That's it. So anyway, so they sit down and they're eating, and Kenneth and Armando, they're kind of playful. They're not showing like serious PDA. They're not kissing. They're not holding hands, but they're being playful with each other, which to me, it would not necessarily give off like, oh my God, that's a gay couple. I wouldn't think that from the way they were acting, but evidently some people there knew right away that this was a gay couple, because someone walked by them and said something very insulting. They said they said it was in Spanish, some type of a homosexual slur in Spanish. And Armando told Kenneth and the girls what that person had said, and it had an effect on them. They were enraged. And when I see that, I know that happens here in America as well, but one of the daughters had said, well, that would never happen in Florida. Really? Anyways, I know that happens here as well. It might not happen to that extent, but I don't think homosexuals in America, I think there are a lot more, maybe life is a little bit easier here for them than it would be in a lot of parts of the world, but I don't think that they're exactly like 100, like 1,000% accepted. I think there are still people here in America who are very homophobic and they have no problem expressing their homophobia when they do see gay couples or gay people out and about. And I'm just thinking about children and teenagers and the things that they say to each other. So it would happen in Florida, and it does happen everywhere else in the United States. So I don't know what she meant, like kind of like putting Mexico down and comparing it to America, and like, oh, that would never happen in Florida. Yeah, it would happen in Florida. Yes, it would happen in Florida and every single other state in America. It would definitely happen. Someone will yell out or throw out a homosexual slur to a gay couple. Yes, sweetheart, that would happen here. Anyways, so, and then Armando was kind of like, this is the reason why I don't want to do any public display of affection, because we could get hurt. This is our lives we're putting on the line when we act like that. And Kenneth, in his confessional, had said that just when Armando is getting comfortable with it, this happens. Now, now he's going to revert back to no PDA at all, and, being really cautious when they're out in public, as they should be. And that was just really horrible. That, and I felt so bad for them. It really hurt my heart to see that, the way that, like, why can't people just be nice? Just because you don't have to agree with it, you don't have to like it, you don't have to sleep in the same bed with them, but just walk by and say nothing. Why do you go out of your way to make other people feel bad? I don't understand how people can get joy out of that. You go completely out of your way to cause pain and hurt on someone else, especially someone that you don't even know. No one is telling you have to accept it. No one is telling you have to like it or believe in it or live that life. It's just an act of just being kind. Not even kind. Kind would be, hello, how are y'all doing? That would be kind. Just be civil. Just walk by them. Just be civil and go about your... Anyways. So next we get to Tim and Lisa. So Tim is going to be... Okay, first of all, let me say this. I don't really care for Lisa. I don't like how she emasculates Tim. I feel like she emasculates him. And like I said, he cheated on her. Okay, whatever. If it was me, I would have moved on. I would not have... there's no way I could have been with someone, if I'm committed to them and, I'm devoting my life to them and then you cheat on me and you flaunt her on social media, and I'm gonna take you back. I wouldn't do it. Melissa is the kind that would do that. And something about her is just cold or not affectionate or something. And I think it's because of the affair. Like, she's holding herself back, kind of like to punish him because of the affair. And I'm just like, why are you doing that? Why don't you just let him go and go be with someone who won't cheat on you? Okay. So Melissa and Tim. So he's looking for a job. So they have breakfast and he's telling her, I'm going to go look for a job today. So he goes out and the first thing he does is he calls a taxi. He orders a taxi. The taxi that shows up is a guy on a motorcycle. And he's like, hell to the no, I'm not doing that. Because, the driving here in Colombia is really, or Medellin is very, very crazy. So I don't feel comfortable riding on the back of someone's motorcycle. So he calls another taxi, and this time it's an actual car that shows up. He goes to an employment agency, and the employment agency lady is, getting his background information and whatnot. And she's asking him, how would you describe yourself and what area of work are you looking for? And then she's asking him, do you have papers? And he's like, no, I don't. I'm only, he says he has a tourist visa. And she says, well, to work here in Colombia, you have to have either a work permit, a visa, or residency card. He has neither. And he's like, that's the only way you're going to be able to work here. And then she tells him if getting those things is going to be not possible for you, then the other option is, because she asked him, who do you live with? And he said his girlfriend. So then she said, well, why don't you, if you and her got married, it would make the process a lot easier for you to get your papers. So Tim is like, we're not even thinking about marriage. So what are you doing in Colombia? He says marriage is so not on their list of things to do. It's not even a thought, a question, a discussion. They're not even thinking about marriage. So he doesn't really see himself marrying Melissa just for papers or to get. So what are you doing? If you're not thinking about marriage, what are you doing in Colombia? So you're going to go uproot your whole entire life to go to Colombia. And then just to go, live with your girlfriend, just to go shack up with your girlfriend, and then after that come back. I don't understand what you're doing, Tim. If you're coming to Colombia, if you're completely, uprooting your whole entire life, maybe that explains why he didn't want to let his job go and let his other possessions go in America, because he knew he was coming right back. So what are you doing in Colombia? I'm not understanding. You went there just to prove to her that you can get on a plane and go live with her for a little bit to get her back, and then you're gonna. I don't understand what's happening here, because I thought he moved to Colombia to start life in Colombia with her. I didn't think he came to Colombia just to live in Colombia. So whether it works out with her or not, he's just gonna stay in Colombia. Maybe that's what he plans. Maybe that's what he's gonna do. Like, well, if we break up, I'll just continue living in Colombia. I don't know. I didn't understand what was going on there. Brittany and Yazin. So they have a hookah date. So they're sitting there smoking hookah, and they're talking about a fight that they had the previous night, which wasn't filmed. So what happened was, the previous night they got into a really big fight because she had tagged Yazin in a picture on, I'm assuming, Instagram. And someone from his family had gone to her Instagram account and looked through all of her pictures, and they found one picture where she's wearing a bikini, and it's like a back shot, it's from the back, and she's got her head turned over her shoulder, and you can see, it's like what is it, a thong or something, like a G-string, where you could see her whole butt. And she has a really nice body where you can see her whole butt. And the family just went berserk. So that particular family member shared that picture or emailed it to everybody else in the family, and it caused a huge ruckus, and people were demanding for her to delete her account. And then she got mad at Yazin because Yazin really wasn't standing up for her and defending her. And I'm like, how would he stand up and defend you? Their whole culture, their whole belief system is for women to be covered up from top to bottom. That is the only thing they know as far as, female attire. What would he be defending you on? You were wearing a skimpy bikini, 95% of your body is showing, your butt is out for the world to see, which here in America, we don't care. People wear that to church over here. What would he be defending you on, sweetheart? Why he's going to tell his family, like, oh, no, it's okay. I mean, I guess maybe she wanted him to say, y'all chill out. This is how they do it in America. But she's not going to dress like that over here. This is just how it is in America. And so sometimes I wonder if, like, the way this show is edited, or any show really, if they take things a little bit out of sequence or out of chronological order. Because when her and Yazin were meeting with his parents for the first time, and they had that huge blowout argument, and this is the one where Brittany stormed out and everybody was yelling at each other, and the mother was screaming at her, and the father has said something about, she looks like a prostitute on the internet. I wonder if that argument actually happened after they saw those pictures. Because I didn't understand why the father was saying, well, she looks like a prostitute. People are going to think she's a prostitute from her pictures on the internet. Because the pictures that we saw at that point, she was fully clothed. We didn't see anything that would make you think, oh, maybe it was just her wearing tight clothes that would make him say. Maybe he hadn't seen that yet at that time when they had that big blow up argument. Maybe he hadn't seen the pictures yet, and he was just talking about her general attire when she's taking pictures for the gram, maybe. But anyways, and so she was like, well, you didn't defend me, and what can he say? What can he say? And so they worked it out. It wasn't a big deal. Well, that night it wasn't a big deal. They worked it out. In fact, she invited him back to her hotel, and he says, he couldn't do it. I thought he was going to say, yeah. I mean, who knows what happened when the cameras turned off, but I thought he was going to, I thought he was going to say yes. But he was like, no, he couldn't do that because they're not married. And, if they're not married, they can't be in the same hotel room together overnight. And, I can tell that Yasmin really loves her. In his confession, oh yeah, so when they had when the family got involved and they were telling her to delete her page, and they're all going crazy, she was starting to text him, and she was texting him, because he said he wasn't going to marry her. So that was what happened. So when the pictures got exposed to the family and everybody was, in an upheaval, he texted her and said that he changed his mind. He didn't want to marry her. And so then she texted him back, and they read her text in his confessional. She texted him back, something like, you're wishy-washy. One minute you want to marry me, the next minute you don't. You're weak. You're letting your family control you, blah, blah, blah. And I'm not deleting my account, or whatever she said. And anyways, even through all of that, in the confessional, when he's talking about Brittany and he talks about, how much he loves her, you can tell this boy loves her. I can tell that Yasmin really does love Brittany. Like, he's like a teenage boy, just, in love with his first crush or something. He really likes that girl. And I hope Brittany really likes him. And I think she does, because I think that in the next episode, she's coming back to America to work on her divorce so she can marry Yasmin. I hope it works out for them. So that's all I have to say. That's the end of that. And thank you for joining me. And I hope that you come back when I do my next review of 90 Day Fiancé the other way. Bye-bye.